Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 17 for this season, the second last episode of the season, otherwise entitled Heart of the Matter Part 1, which is also the special 150th episode of The Flash. But of course, let's watch the trailer, then we'll talk about it.
Next Tuesday,
Barry's kids showed up from the future.
only 2 episodes left.
I need to finish this fight. You ready?
With special guests you won't want to miss.
Time to get in on the action. Tragedy follows us everywhere. Dad! We have to break the chain.
The Flash 2-part season finale starts next Tuesday at 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
So yeah, last episode was the second episode in the Godspeed arc. Personally, it's probably tied with my favorite episode of the season, so it's either 1 or 2 or tied for first. It's up there. Great episode. You know, little things here that, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of from this season that was in this episode, but they were small. They were like two or three small scenes, didn't take away from the episode, and I really enjoyed the episode a lot. So I was excited to see where it moved on into the next episode, which this trailer showcases. But of course, at the end of last episode, there was a few big things. We meet the real August Hart, who of course we know that the Godspeed clones are after. Pretty much whoever gets him wins the war. So it's almost like capture the flag or something like that, or whatever you want to call it, some sort of war game. But of course, we also get to meet Bart and Nora. We obviously knew Nora, but we get to meet Bart for the first time. This seems like to be like pretty much the same Nora. I'm sure we'll learn more and see if there's any changes in this episode, but we get to meet her. They show up and Barry's surprised. Not just one kid, get ready for 2. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of the trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis and or description for the episode, as it does give us a bit more context as to what's going on. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions, thoughts, expectations, what you're looking forward to most in this episode. Just let me know all that in the comment section down below. I'm always curious to read what you guys are looking forward to and what you have to say. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to this episode, why not drop a like on the video to show support and excitement. Barry and Iris greet their future children, XS and Bart, only for a shocking secret to threaten their new familial harmony. Meanwhile, the Godspeed War intensifies and threatens to destroy Central City. So the trailer starts off with Barry's kids showed up from the future. Now this is said by Chester, who will probably, if not most likely, be Flash fanning out or fanboying over the Flash out, whatever you want to call it, which I think will be most of us. But the interesting thing is that right at the beginning of the trailer, we see Iris hugging both Bart and Nora in the same outfit she had on last episode when she was having those issues and ended up going away with Dion Owens. So what's going on with Iris? Is she experiencing all the forces due to her pregnancy? I mean, her eyes glowed green like Dion's, like Dion's do last episode. And then what was happening to her seemed related more to like Dion's powers specifically more than Speed Force powers, because it seemed like it was timeline travel, timeline, jumping around issues, which is like Dion's sort of thing. So I do wonder whether, because she's meant to be like this, I know it's cringe and everyone doesn't like it, but the mother of all the forces, I wonder if she's now experiencing them because of what's happening, whether it is that she's pregnant or just some other issue. I'm very curious as to what's going on there. Because if that's the case, then I guess she has to harness the Strength Force next and then the Speed Force, because we know that she's going to be a speedster again in the finale. That was confirmed. So maybe this episode there's signs of the Strength Force or something going on like that. Or maybe they just skip over the Strength Force and they more just tease the speedster aspect. I'm not too sure what they're going to do, but I guess that would make sense. I mean, my main reason for thinking that is the fact that her eyes glowed green last episode, which, if you're on the Speed Force, that's not what happens. That's what happens when you're with the Still Force, which is Dion Owens' powers. So yeah. The other thing that people were thinking is that they might be doing the whole Iris from the future storyline, which I think is unlikely. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think it's unlikely. The only thing that I think supports it is the fact that Eric Wallace, who's the showrunner, did tease them doing the whole Iris is actually from the future storyline thing. I think it was last season or maybe just before season 6 came out. So if you don't know that, like in the comics, it's revealed that Iris is actually born in the future and she was brought back here and like adopted pretty much. I thought they were never going to do that because it sort of takes away the relationship between Joe and Iris. So like, that actual biological bond. And I think maybe it's too late in the show to do that. I think if you did that in an earlier season, it would have been fine. But I think if you do it now in a later season, it might be seen as like jumping the shark. And I think it might be a thing to avoid, but who knows? They might go down that route. But we do see Bart with his headpiece on. Obviously, at the end of last episode, he does show up, but in his suit, but it's without this headpiece thing. And it's the same with Nora. She didn't have that mask that goes on over her eyes that we've seen in previous seasons. But in regards to not only Bart, but also Nora coming back to the present day, I am wondering how they knew to come back. Like how they know to come back specifically to this time. Maybe they themselves were also tracking the whole Godspeed stuff because it's meant to be from their time, and found a lead that made them realize that all of the Godspeed stuff that maybe they were tracking before, or that was going down in their timeline or their time period, was now going down in the year 2021 before they were even born. Or maybe it was a connection through something like the dreams that Barry was having, or it could just be something simple like the Godspeeds were never meant to come back to 2021 originally, but they've come back and maybe changed something. So maybe in the Flash Museum now it says that the Godspeeds were there in 2021. Maybe that's revealed, something like that. I'm sure they'll explain it, like with the Iris stuff as well. I don't think they'll keep that stuff, in the abyss and not make us realize what's going on. Or maybe there is something larger at play that we don't have a clue about at all that is behind it all. Maybe it even leads into the beginning of season 8. Who knows? When you get to the end of a season, sometimes they leave, a door a bit open. They don't completely close it or end off a story because it could lead into a future season, as I said. But we do see Barry put on his flash ring and then ask both Nora and Bart if they are ready. And by ready, I think we know what he means. He means, are you ready to kick some Godspeed clone ass? And the answer should be yes. I mean, if I was there. Well, if I was there and I had speed, I would say yes. I think I might die if I did it with that speed. But anyway. Now, the trailer does talk about special guests. It's like their highlight thing. And of course, we know Bart and Nora are there because, spoiler alert, they're in the first bit of the trailer, and we also saw them at the end of last episode. But we also have Jay Garrick showing up and his partner, Joan Williams, aka the doppelganger of Barry's mother as well. Now, one of the big questions that will probably come from this, and I'm sure they'll answer like pretty much straight away as soon as it starts happening in the episode, is Jay from Earth Prime, or is he from another Earth? He appears to be in his office/workspace thing that we saw at the beginning of last season, where he was surrounded, where he is now in the trailer, surrounded by those Godspeed clones. But of course, when we went there last season, that was on Earth 3, pre-Crisis. Now, Eric Wallace has said in an interview from last season, I think it might have been just after Crisis happened, that Jay Garrick is apparently meant to now be on Earth Prime, but the actual show never confirmed that. Jay never appeared last season. They never cemented anything. He wasn't really even mentioned as to, being on Earth Prime. So maybe they changed their mind and he is still from another Earth, whether it is Earth 3 or Earth 2 or something. We'll have to wait and see. It could be confusing due to the fact that Henry and Nora Allen would have, still existed on Earth Prime, obviously. And now Jay and Joan would be there looking like them as well. If they are still from another Earth, that opens up the multiverse again for Barry for some fun in later episodes, maybe at the beginning of season 8. But we also know that this version of Jay Garrick is meant to appear on Stargirl season 2, and that's on Earth 2. So if he's meant to be the Jay Garrick from Stargirl, that means he should be from Earth 2. So maybe that says we're going to Earth 2 next episode. I don't know. But we do get Barry versing the Godspeed clones in a church. Maybe that's a bit on the nose there. I'm not too sure. I mean, like, the God of Speed in a church. Just me? Is this the Speed Force church? I don't know. But Barry is also taking all the brunt and all the beams and these thingos from the Godspeeds, while Nora and maybe Bart. I don't think you can see Bart in the back, but you can see Nora. But at least Nora is passed out in the background. So in this case, Barry is protecting his kids, and maybe this leads into what happens next. And this is when we hear, tragedy follows us everywhere. We have to break the chain. And this is Barry talking to Iris, but what does that mean? Is this suggesting that they have to be the first ones to act on something that could potentially lead to tragedy, such as a death? Or is this something to do with the two children of Nora and Bart and their potential futures? I am very interested to see what they do to wrap this season up and whether Iris gets pregnant or not, though it seems she will, and it would be almost surprising if she doesn't now based off everything that's happening. I know I talked about the future Iris thing and maybe like she goes to the future to be protected or something like that, or she was initially born there and came back here, when she was young and then now returns there, which is a thing from the comics. However, Candice Patton, who plays Iris, if you didn't know, in season 7 you should, but anyway, she renewed her contract for season 8 of The Flash, so next season. So unless it's a reduced role, similar to something like Carlos Valdez or Tom Cavanaugh had, who play, Cisco and the Wells, I don't see them doing that because they would have to cross to her story in the future a lot if that's the case. So they have to go, meanwhile, in the future. It's like, well, hold on, that just takes away from everything. And usually we see the show like 90% of the time from Barry's point of view. So it'd be weird if we're randomly crossing there unless Barry's the one that goes to the future to check in on it. But I don't know, if it's meant to be safe there, then it wouldn't be that interesting to watch then, would it? Like if she's just like, oh, I'm in my recliner, relaxing, raising kids, why would we cross there a lot and why would it be warranted to do that all the time? So I don't see them doing any sort of future stuff with Iris in regards to putting her there. So I'm not sure what they would do to quote unquote break the chain, as Barry tells Iris, but I'm looking forward to finding out what their plan is because I mean, Barry's not lying when he says that tragedy follows them everywhere. So how are they going to stop that? But that's it from the trailer, but there are some promo images. It is pretty basic. It's just more of Bart and Nora, like first meeting Iris by the looks of it and hanging around Star Labs. But there is also a shot of Barry and Iris talking to Nora, and it almost looks like it's been ripped from season 5, where it's an instance where Nora has messed up or something, and Barry and Iris give Nora a stern talking to. Now, maybe this is because Nora knew that coming back was a bad idea before. Maybe Barry and Iris told her in the future what the other version had done and everything like that, or at least gave that scenario about what happened to Nora and just didn't tell her that she was the one who actually died and it was their cousin Noreen or something. I don't know, something along those lines. Well, not died, but like erased, but pretty much the same thing. So yeah, maybe that's what they're talking to her about. It'll be interesting. I hope there's none of that drama from season 5 because not many people like that. Because Nora, like, some people, I think like Nora had a lot of like either loved or hate, and I was in that gray area. Like I liked the character, I just didn't like some of the stuff they did with her story wise because it made her seem a bit whiny or a bit like doesn't learn. So hopefully that's changed a bit because I like Jessica Parker Kennedy's take on the character. It's just that the story wasn't great for her in season 5. So hopefully what we see here is a bit improved. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support and excitement for the episode. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over and what you're looking forward to the most from this episode and even the finale as well. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.